I completed the entirety of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which means beating all 80 stages, collecting every Kong letter, every puzzle piece, doing all of that again on mirror mode, and then beating all 80 stages for the third time in time attack to get every gold medal. And with all of that experience gained during my journey, I'm gonna rank every boss stage in time attack mode based on their difficulty. Let's get to ranking. Number 8. Stu. This King Neptune of a bird is the third boss encounter in the game.
My hair is thinning a bit.
Oh, Your Highness, I'm sure it's not that noticeable. Hold!
The way this boss works is that you fight the bird with a giant golden shell, which he wears for the entire fight. In the shell, he stores bombs, which he's gonna try to throw at you. What you need to do is to grab those bombs and throw them back at him. After you manage to do this 6 times, the timer ends. Doing it the intended way, which is always waiting and throwing the bombs one by one, might prove to be a decent challenge. However, if you go to the closest platform to Stu and let him throw his first bomb to you, you can wait for a little and he will actually throw a second bomb to you. In that moment, you quickly throw the 2 bombs on him, and as he gets hit by the first one, he will actually drop a third bomb too, making it possible to get rid of half of the boss's HP in the first few seconds of the fight, making it the easiest boss to time. Number 7. Mole Miner Max. And I know what you're thinking. Why the hell is this boss so low? Well, for that we're gonna have to look on how this boss works. You start off on a minecart chasing a big drill with other minecarts attached. While you're chasing the drill, a mole pops up from the first minecart attached to the drill and starts throwing pickaxes at you, which you have to dodge. After a while, your minecart starts getting closer to the minecart from the drill and eventually connects with them. In that moment, you start playing a quick game of whack-a-mole. After you whack all the moles, this section repeats until you've successfully done it 3 times. Then you do it for one last time, but now with the boss replacing the moles. This all may sound worse than the Holocaust, but trust me, spending time with this level is way better than spending time in a concentration camp. For starters, you can easily skip the throwing phase by simply roll jumping to the other side. Not to mention, during the whack-a-mole phase, the moles have a high chance of dropping hearts, meaning you are very unlikely to lose attempts to death or the loss of Diddy. And yeah, I beat the timer on my very first try, so that just proves my point. Number 6. Mugly. Yeah, not really much to say on this one. It's the first boss after all. The way this boss works is we fight a reptilian monster with spikes on his back. Whenever he attacks, he hides the spikes on his back. By jumping on his back 3 times, we push him to the next phase and he becomes more aggressive and changes color. After 3 phases, the timer ends. The timer is super lenient on this one, and paired with the difficulty of the level, you shouldn't really have an issue with timing this boss. Number 5. The Scurvy Crew. Finally, a boss that's probably gonna take more than 3 attempts. This is also the most fair boss fight in the game, mainly because there isn't no cheesy strategy or unforgivable RNG involved, just pure skill gameplay. The way this boss works is you fight 3 crabs one by one. You jump on their head, pound the ground, and jump on their stomach. Once you defeat all 3, they then climb on top of each other and start walking across the arena. When they raise their claws, you roll into them and jump on each one in close succession. You do it 2 times and the timer ends. The timer is honestly pretty tight on this one, however, with a bit of skill and a few tries, you should be able to beat the timer pretty quickly. Number 4. Tugly. You're probably thinking, did this guy take drugs while playing this game? And the answer is yes, I ate a bunch of edibles during this playthrough. However, my heightened state of mind didn't affect this ranking in any way, shape or form. Let's break this boss down. This is just a juiced up version of Mugly. When he's attacking you, he uncovers his back, you hit him 3 times and you get to the next phase. Do it 3 times and the boss is over. However, There is one difference, and that is that he learns a new attack every phase. That's it. Beating this boss normally would take a lot of time, precision, and patience, especially since it's an almost 3-minute long boss fight. However, there are a few reasons for attack displacing. For starters, the timer is pretty tight, which may someone find as a big negative. However, this also usually means that even a few seconds of time shave can easily get you a gold medal. And there are a few ways to save time. You can save a bit of time by always staying on the opposite corner of the arena to the boss. This way, after you hit him, he doesn't need to run back and lose time. Another time save is in third phase, where he gains a new attack. This attack shoots a ball of fire into the air and slowly falls and splits. During this attack, the boss stays in place for the whole time, which makes you lose around 5 seconds per attack. However, by just tanking the hit as soon as it appears, you skip the waiting of the boss. The whole difficulty of this stage stems from its length, which can make it even more likely for you to make mistakes and fail the timer, but once you get a feel for him, it's a pretty easy boss fight. Number 3, Mango Ruby. And yeah, now we're finally in our top 3, starting with the 5th boss of the game, Mango Ruby. Mango Ruby is a caterpillar-like creature, which you fight in a room with 4 rotating structures. Each structure has a switch you need to ground pound in order to hit the boss. You hit the boss 3 times and the timer ends. Pretty simple, right? Wrong. The main difficulty of this stage comes from its tight timer and the rotating structures. It is important to have a decent route and consistency, since the switches change its position and even a small change in timing between attempts may result in a big time difference. That's made even worse by the fact that the boss constantly follows you to the structure closest to you and may block your way or even the switches themselves. But overall, the boss isn't that bad, and honestly, you can change the placement of Tugly and Mango Ruby in the ranking and I wouldn't complain a single bit. I think it's mainly a personal preference which boss is harder for you. Number 2, Colonel Pluck. From drinking cow milk to eating straight bullshit, that's the only way to describe the difficulty jump between the last 2 bosses and the rest. For starters, the boss on its own isn't the easiest, especially if you don't know what to do. The fight takes place on a conveyor belt, where you fight Colonel Sanders and Optimus Prime. The fight starts with an intermission phase, where the boss walks in a step-by-step motion across the room. You need to pass under his feet to avoid taking hits. From time to time, the boss enrages during the intermission and you need to quickly get out of his way to avoid getting hit. After intermission, the boss jumps into the air and starts flying. During this phase, the boss will follow and try to squish you by landing on you. And he will do it with 3 different attacks. 1 attack with his feet close together, 2 attacks with his feet apart. Since the chosen attack is completely random, you need to be able to recognize them and either dodge his attack or crawl under his feet. Whenever he lands with his feet apart, he will reveal a handful of ball hair which you need to grab and completely start to destroy his ball sack. After you hit his balls 3 times, his sack gets destroyed and you move on to the second part of the fight. During this part, Pluck will fly with his machine in the air and drops eggs on you. Then he will try to land on your head. You need to dodge his attacks and land on his head instead. Do it 3 times and the timer stops. The whole issue of this boss lies in its first part of the fight. You can easily dodge his attacks by just simply learning his 3 landing attacks, and then during the intermission by standing in the corner of the room and going under him just to go right back. Because he can't enrage during his first step, it means that by doing this you completely remove the survival RNG of the fight. The problem is the RNG of his landing attacks. He only attacks a few times, and if you're unlucky, you might just get a single hit for the entire intermission. So even if you play perfectly, you may lose the timer way before you get to the second phase of the fight. Now, there is a way to save a decent amount of time. However, that is by performing a triple hit jump in the second phase, to which you won't even get to most of the time, and by the time you consistently learn it, you will have gotten the gold medal already. So yeah, great boss, just not for time attack. And finally, number 1, Tiki Tong. Just think of Colonel Pluck, but even more bullshit. That's this fight. You start off the fight with Tiki Tong trying to hit you with his hands. He uses 3 different attacks to hit you. During his first attack, he will try to hit you with a sideways swipe with both of his hands. During his second attack, he will vertically place both of his hands on each corner of the room and try to squish anything between his hands. And finally, during his third attack, he will try to squish you from above with his hands. You need to hit each of his hands during his attacks 2 times to get the second phase. During the second phase, Tiki Tong now gains 3 new moves. During his first move, he will just simply bury himself halfway into the ground and send a shockwave. During his second attack, he will shoot Fiery Fangs which will follow you. And finally, during his last attack, he spins across the room while dropping fire on you. You need to hit him on top of his head 3 times to win. The whole issue lies in the RNG, since all his attacks except his first ones are completely random. Half of the time your timer's over before even reaching the second phase, and even if you reach the second phase, you need to deal with the exact same bullshit RNG, only with his attacks lasting much longer. So basically, if he doesn't attack you back to back in the second phase, you can just simply restart the level, since there is no chance of finishing before the timer. That's actually made even worse by the fact that you have an entire rocket ship level before you even get to the boss. And yes, for God knows what reason, you need to go through it every time you attempt this level. The best way to go around this boss is to learn to recognize his attack patterns and get enough consistency to attack on impulse. Simply attack at every opportunity you get and hope you get decent RNG. And that's it. That's my ranking of every Donkey Kong Country Returns boss on time attack. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. See you around.